Hello, hello, hello. Here I am under here. It is Philo, and I am Amber Greenlee. And Philo is a kind of a call-in comic book show, but not really call-in anymore. We use chat. It's improv comic, so there is no script that we're following aside from the ones that you guys kind of tell us in chat what to write. So I have Robin. Robin is my better half. Knows more about comics than I do, Robin Fisher, and she's amazing and Canadian, and we love her. And then we also have Dale Cipperley, who is going to be our guest artist tonight. Dale is a cartoonist out in the San Jose area, and knows like too much about art supplies, and it's good. It's good stuff. So catching up where we left off. So where we left off last time, this is the top of page 20, I believe. Yes, page 20. So this is the top of page 20. Meow disapproves of the chaos that he saw before him last episode, which was the dance-off that was going on between everybody with everybody's booties hanging out, including the daylight. There's a record scratch! And then, don't scratch my vinyl, says Meow from the top of the balcony. And we zoom in. Our artist last week was Chuck Whelan, who's a cartoonist from the San Francisco Bay Area, and
San Jose North.
Yeah, he's he's good peeps. And Dale and Chuck do a show Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which I guess would be 10 a.m. East or Pacific Standard Time. Yeah, 10 a.m. and then 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I swear I will know everybody's time zone. Yes, and so if you are ever up on Saturday morning, you want to see Chuck draw and Dale tell him what to draw and how to draw it, I recommend checking it out. So, Dale, do you want the first panel tonight, or do you want me to take it?
I will take the first panel.
Ooh, you'll take the first panel tonight. So, okay, so we have Meow going, don't scratch my vinyl. Mm-hmm. And Armand the octopus is there. He's working many jobs. Hi, Chuck. Earth Space says hello. I am listening in. Yeah, so don't touch my vinyl, he says. And what happens then? What goes on?
Armand has had enough. It's not actually Meow's vinyl. It's Armand's.
You think it's Armand's vinyl?
Yeah. Look at all his arms. He's talented. That's his vinyl.
Okay. So you think that he's just being a disc jockey?
Yep.
Okay. Let me put up Dale's screen so we can see what Dale's working on.
No. And also because Armand can jump through portals of time, right? That's how they got to Meow's headquarters.
Well,
what if
he might have gone through a toilet too.
Okay. Well, my idea is that he manages to zap two big burly security dudes next to him, so that when Meow comes to try to take his vinyl away, Armand's security deals with Meow.
Okay, so are they coming out of toilets then?
Is that how Armand travels?
That's how he got everybody out of the stomach realm.
All right, yeah, they're coming out of toilets then.
Okay, I'm just saying. What is Earth
I think that's great.
I wasn't able to put out any of my feelers on Facebook or anything, any of my promo images that I usually do, and say, hey, Philo's going. So we're probably going to have a kind of a quiet night because everybody has their own lives, and I forgot to tell them what we were doing. I think there's like toilets and security guys coming out.
Okay. So the caption should read Armand and Meow fight over the record.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if it's his.
Okay.
And then Armand's security shows up.
Okay.
So, am I drawing the security then? Or
I thought I was drawing Meow, Armand, and the 2 security guys coming out.
Yeah.
And
Okay, yeah, 2 security guys coming out of toilets. Okay,
Armand-
so then what happens?
I think that Armand and Meow will have a tug of war over the record. The security guards, because Armand is an octopus, they'll likely be squids.
Okay.
And I think the next panel in the tug of war, the record is destroyed.
Okay, so that's what I'm
breaking
drawing,
down.
is the record is destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Woo!
that works. I that will be my caption, is the record is destroyed. So how is everyone this evening?
Do you think Meow's gonna laugh about the destruction of the record, or do you think he'll be upset?
Well, if he
Because
thinks
I don't
it's
think they're his records. Yeah, but they're not. I think Armand would be more upset than Meow.
Yeah, I imagine that Meow would be angry that he didn't get the record because, you know, he is a thieving thing and probably wants the record for himself.
What if the record is like that Wu-Tang Clan record that only like 5 people have listened to that's worth bajillions of dollars?
Yeah,
That's back in the news.
Wu-Tang record.
Yeah, because I think the guy who had it and then went to jail had a copy of it and has been playing it for people.
Well, there's an argument that, oh God, how do I know this? That it wasn't really the Wu-Tang Clan that made that album. It was only 1 or 2 of them that did it.
Well, it was definitely RZA because he's like the mastermind of them all. But yeah, it's probably not the Wu-Tang. You're probably right. It's probably only 2 of them. It wouldn't surprise me.
It could have been the record company too that decided that.
Well, no, I got the impression that the whole thing was RZA's idea. Like he wanted to create this piece of work that would stand the test of time, that only like select few would ever hear.
Yeah, the 1%. Let's see. Micromastophobia. I'm sure Surly. I just listened to a 2-hour inspirational success speaker, and he obviously has no idea what made him successful. It was probably money then. It was probably money then. You know, it's probably like you know, family money or something.
Was he inspirational though?
Probably making money off of giving inspirational lectures.
No, but did it work, Micromastophobia? I mean, you listened for 2 hours. I would think that maybe, or were you just patiently waiting to find the answer?
Probably patiently waiting to find the answer. You know what I'm gonna do is I want everyone to know this is the Wu-Tang record. So I'm gonna put like the ghost of the Wu-Tang leaving the record. You know. Yeah.
The Sword of Shaolin? Oh, I see what you're doing there. That's very clever. I like it.
Yeah. So they're gonna be doing this and then Wu-Tang. Do you guys ever watch riff tracks?
I've
No.
heard of them, but no. I'm more MST3K.
I mean, they're to me, I love them both, you know, and there is a riff tracks that is of what's the name of the Bruce Lee movie? The last one he did, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
It's not. I think it's Enter the Dragon, the one where he has the scratches at the end of the movie. Anyway, they do a riff of it, and it is like they're on fire. You know, at one point everyone's fighting, and they're singing, "Everybody's Junkudoing, be like water flowing." Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Needs to happen more. So, did you do anything this weekend? Or this week, I should say? Miss
Who, me?
Robin? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were talking to me or Dale.
I was starting with you, and then I was gonna go into Dale.
No, life's been pretty dull. Just been trying to survive my day to day.
That's
Been rough.
Sometimes no
Been
news
rough.
is good news.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was amazed today by the fact that I can't believe that OK Go have not released an album in 10 years.
I
Because
don't know.
yeah, I really like them. Have you listened to OK Go before?
I don't think I've ever heard them.
They're really awesome because like they like make the coolest music videos ever. They like do stuff where they'll do like one video is like a giant Rube Goldberg machine. Another video they did the whole song with instruments on the car, and the car's like driving around hitting things and making the music of the song. They're famous for their very first video, which was like a kind of a TikTok dance, but they did it like in 2000. Oh,
nice.
Maybe they started the TikTok dance trend. I don't know.
Were they the ones that did the video on the escalator, or not the escalators, but
no, it was the exercise machines, like the running.
Yes,
yeah,
the
that's
treadmills.
them.
Yes, I have seen that video. Yes.
Yeah, they've got another one called White Knuckles, where it's all like dogs doing tricks and stuff. They like honestly, their videos are a lot of fun. I used to use one of their videos when I was teaching in China because they had this really beautiful slow song where the lead singer's sister was doing a tango with this man through these parts of LA, but each part of it was like a specific color. So like they would all wear yellow, and then the background would be a yellow wall, or they would all wear green and it'd be a green fence in front of a green shrubbery. You know what I mean? So we would yell out the colors. So I'd use it as a color lesson. But
yeah,
they have really good videos. Like they're really excellent. They did the last video I saw, and it's interesting because the album came out in 2014, and the last video I saw came out in 2017. Because it takes a lot of time, I think, for them to plan these videos out.
Yeah.
So they did this one called Obsession, and the whole video, like, they played in front of like something like 200 computer printers.
Yeah.
And the computer printers were like printing out images as they were singing. It's hard to explain, but like, yeah, their videos are very interesting. They did another one where they were using these like, they're like little unicycles, but they're motorized unicycles. And they did like a sort of Bugs Berkeley dance routine, like, where, when they do the synchronized swimming in the pools, but instead they're doing it on these little wheelie bikes on a giant pavement with like hundreds of Japanese girls.
I'm sorry. Micromasterphobia has been speaking to us. Hi, Meep Beep. He says, I was listening to you for the good part. He became successful by hosting parties in LA that people wanted to go to and being engaging to talk to. Yeah, hosting parties in LA, rich. Along those lines, I love the idea of mounting an acoustic guitar to the ceiling and putting the pick on the door. So every time the door opens and closes, it strums the guitar. And then Mickey says hello. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to.
No, it's okay. Micromasterphobia is talking about how one of their videos is the car that like hits like pianos and drums and stuff and makes the song. Yeah, they're a really neat band, but I just can't believe it's been 10 years. They really need to put out some new music.
Did you hear about Tenacious D breaking up?
Oh shit, yeah, that was excellent. Fuck, that was excellent. Pardon my language, but that was excellent. I saw a meme where they took the bit with Peter. I don't know if you posted it. Maybe you did. I think maybe you did actually, where it was Peter Falk and Fred Savage from Princess Bride, and they were like, "Oh, why did Tenacious D break up?" And it's all because Kyle spoke the truth, and Jack wanted to keep doing Disney cartoon voices.
Jack Black.
Oh shit! Micromasterphobia didn't know.
Yeah, Jack Black made all of his social media private because people just keep ripping into him and then quoting Tenacious D lyrics about like their friendship.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so I'm so sorry, Micromasterphobia. What happened is they did a concert recently. I don't remember where. And I don't know if it was Kyle's birthday, but Kyle was presented a cake by Jack Black and he had to make a wish. And so Kyle flippantly said, "Don't miss next time." something along those lines.
Yeah, I
And
hope
of course,
the assassin doesn't miss or something.
yeah. No, he wasn't that clear. He was vague about it, but it was obvious what he was talking about. He was like, just don't miss, you know? But yeah, and then so I don't know if it was like a day later or that night, but Jack Black like was just like totally disavowing any like association with him, just saying like, oh, I don't condone violence or anything like that. And Kyle apologized too, but it's the end of Tenacious D.
Yeah, it's the end of Tenacious D. They're gone. They were supposed to have an album come out later this year. It's canceled.
And that's right. They were in Australia. They were halfway through their tour in Australia.
Yeah, and then also they canceled all the rest of their tour dates. Hi, Jeremy. And then they also the agency that was representing Kyle Gass stopped representing him. Yeah. So he's not a pariah in Hollywood, but honestly, I think that Jack Black has made so much fucking money that he has very powerful Republican friends who are going to vote Trump and put pressure on him to end his relationship. And I think money is more important to him now than a 40-year friendship. So that's all I have to say about that.
And the worst thing about it is my brother kind of got down on me for just being surprised that like it happened. And then I said something like, I honestly think that's the only way you're ever going to get rid of him. And I've said that a couple of times in the past, but all of a sudden now it's anathema to say. But in privacy, like at work, like I know people are saying shit like that. I've heard it. And it's like, people are thinking it. People are fucking thinking it.
It's not something that you can publicly condone. And here's an issue that people aren't talking about a lot publicly, okay? In Australia, free speech, as we know it in America, does not exist. And he violated Australian law by basically saying a threatening thing to a foreign national. And so he's in trouble with Australia for that. And he's going to have to go back and deal with stuff in a legal capacity with Australia. But that's neither here nor there. Here in the United States, we support free speech. You can say something awful and like no one can throw you in jail for saying it. They may not like what you say, but they can't throw you in jail for it.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Yet.
Yeah, well, again, things are getting kind of crazy here in the States. Just know that we love you, Canada. Please take us in, should we need it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I lived in Regina, and Regina was an interesting city. Yeah, but yeah, we don't have to talk politics anymore. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, you are drawing guys coming out of toilets. There's meow. I am drawing the squid security dudes. And then Armand's down here. Yeah. Did I lose you, Robin?
No, I'm still here. I was listening to your recap.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just trying to draw squid guys. Squid Games. Yeah.
Good looks good.
The Acolyte finished too.
Oh, I fell asleep halfway through the first episode and I haven't finished it. What I've started doing is I'm rewatching The Boys again because I want to watch the new season.
Yeah, The Boys is on our list, and then I just discovered that we have access to Lower Decks, so I'm going to start watching that.
Lower Decks is epic.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I've watched a couple episodes of that.
It's been on my list of something to watch. I was a little disappointed in Discovery's first season. I watched probably about 3 or 4 episodes into it, but I hear it gets better after the first
The Lower
season.
Decks is a completely different entity. It's like a cartoon. It's silly. It's irreverent. It's about the like peons of Star Trek. It's not the same as the other one.
Well, yes, absolutely. And the thing is, though, is that they were put out around the same time, and so
okay.
I was
So you conflate them.
I didn't conflate them so much as, what I didn't like, especially about Discovery, was that, and Lower Decks, was that it was behind a paywall, right? And it seemed very Ferengi to me, but I understand it's a new landscape, and I get it, right? But now that they're starting to syndicate it outside of the little walled garden where I can access it, then, it means that I can actually give these shows a chance and, sit down and like watch them without having to pay Paramount for one show,
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that if Paramount had more shows I was interested in, I would be all over it. But at the time, I was not interested in really anything else they were putting out. It didn't seem like a good investment for me, like it's got to be clear with my entertainment money.
That's fair. Hey, Micromastophobia has a question that I don't know the answer to.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I heard about that part. All venues were canceled. Something about the insurance not covering them anymore. Why does your chat always replace the with the picture? I feel like I'm making a ton of spelling mistakes. The? What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't understand either.
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about in Twitch? Are you talking about the Twitch chat? Because I'm not sure why it keeps replacing it.
I am not that computer savvy.
It might be a setting I have on. Yeah, you're not seeing it. I'm replacing the with a picture of HTE in Twitch.
What's
no,
HTE?
I'm not seeing it. HTE is a misspelling of the word the from, like if you're making fun of the fact that you can't type, Yeah. And so, no, I'm not seeing it. What it might be is it might be a like emoji thing that I have available, and so when you type it in, it just automatically shows up. Like if you type in a happy face, the happy face, happy faces. So, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna put you in the main window.
On Facebook, if you type rad, thumbs up rockets to the top of the screen.
Nice. I know if you put a bunch of hearts go in chat.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Armand and Meow fighting over the vinyl. Are you finished with this panel, you think?
What do you think?
It's looking pretty finished to me.
Okay. Let me erase a couple lines here. And yeah, I guess it's done.
Okay.
Meow's so tiny. That's awesome.
Oh, wait, I want to give these guys chins. Hang on.
Okay, I'm going to have you draw panel 4 then. Or I'm sorry, panel 3 then. Or do you want me to take panel 3 if you're drawing
Just tell me what to draw.
Okay, so let's see. So,
what panel
Armand,
is this? This is panel 1, right?
This is panel 1, yes.
Okay.
You're doing panel 1.
God.
Yes.
Okay.
And then panel 2 here is The Record is Destroyed. And as you can see, it was the Wu-Tang album. And so everybody's like shocked, and you can see Armand's there going, no. And so with it, I don't know if we should have the ghost of the Wu-Tang come out of the record. Maybe they're free like a genie.
I wouldn't know what the Wu-Tang Clan looks like to draw.
Well, they're black.
No. Their symbol is killer bees. So just draw a bunch of killer bees.
You want just a bunch of killer bees?
It'll be easier to draw, trust me, than getting all caught up in trying to make it look like a bunch of RZAs and Method Mans and old dirty bastards and just do bees.
I don't know. What you could do is a bunch of Wu-Tang logos too, with like bee wings.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the image, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. The Wu-Tang logo is a funky W, if you can see on the screen, because I drew it, with the word Wu-Tang in the middle.
Okay.
That is the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, am I drawing a bunch of killer bees coming out of this album?
Yeah, like I'm thinking the ghosts of the Wu-Tang are freed from this album like a genie. And I would just say the Wu-Tang are free as your caption.
The Wu-Tang are free.
Yeah, the Wu-Tang are free.
Now, is this a multi-headed...
How about the Wu-Tang are released?
Are released. Yeah, they could do that, are released. But
Okay.
I was thinking free because it's like it was an accident that the album broke. And
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look up some reference. And I'm probably
Okay.
going to get in trouble for bad caricatures.
That's why I'm saying do killer bees.
Yeah, that's why she's saying do killer bees.
I will do killer bees.
Yeah, that might be easier.
Seriously, that's their symbol. Their symbol, that's like Wu-Tang killer bees. That's their thing.
Okay, so killer bees, like the ghost of the
I'm
Wu-Tang
making it
turns
up.
into a bunch of killer bees. And then what? Then what happens?
Well, do they attack Meow? Man, you know what I keep thinking of? I keep thinking Meow is like Eugene Levy and Splash. He just can't catch a break.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, let's go to Dale. Or are you looking up reference right now?
I'm not. I'm not going to use reference.
Okay.
I'm going to write in my caption, which is...
The Wu-Tang are released or the Wu-Tang are free. One of the two. Whichever works with you better.
I was going to write the bees are free.
Okay, that works.
You gotta put the killer bees
The
so
killer
that
bees.
people get the reference.
Free.
Yes, the killer bees are free.
Good. Thank you. That's my only request.
Okay, so if the killer bees are free, then what happens?
Okay, motherfucker. Killer bees, motherfucker.
Would they start rapping?
Oh no, they should like go and steal all of Armand's records. Cause they're like, it's a treasure trove, it's the honeypot of music.
And they're stealing Armand's records. Well, would Armand bring his entire record collection if he was DJing? Or,
Well,
a
a lot of DJs, they don't bring their entire collection, but they do bring like 3 crates or so of like their best stuff, so that because that's what they're gonna play, right?
that's true. But don't forget, we also have Meow's collection there. So there's Armand's collection and Meow's collection.
I think
Yeah.
it's pretty much established that Meow's collection is shite, and that Armand has the best taste.
Okay, so we could just have them fly over Meow's collection to Armand's collection.
Oh yeah,
And-
the panels like they're just like turning their nose up at
Yeah.
Meow's collection.
And I'm thinking that they say of Armand's collection, it's the bee's knees.
Sure.
Yes. So the killer bees
We're free.
reject Meow's records. Right? So that would be my caption, is that the killer bees reject Meow's records. And that is what I will be drawing. Oh man, I wish I knew more about the Wu-Tang. I wish I knew. The one thing that I remember about the Wu-Tang Clan is that when Dave Chappelle did the racial draft on the Chappelle show, they what are you showing?
It's a dinosaur nightlight.
Oh, a dinosaur nightlight. Very cool. But yeah, when the Wu-Tang did the racial draft, they like went up to the podium and they're like, "We're Asian now." They also,
You know what's really
they also
interesting
got
about
Tiger
the-
Woods.
You know what's really interesting about the Dave Chappelle show?
Mm.
Is a lot of those skits were written by a white guy named Neil Brennan.
Oh, I know. I subscribe to his YouTube channel. He does.
I think Neil Brennan is way funnier than Dave Chappelle. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, he does amazing interviews with industry pros and stuff on his YouTube channel. And he'll talk about things like writing comedy, and then he'll also go into like stories of when they were working together or doing a road show in comedy or something like that. It's amazing. It's great.
Well, I've seen all his stand-up routines, and the last two were okay, but the first one was just brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the one that's called Three Mics, I believe.
Yeah. Who was the writer that did My Friend Bill?
I don't know.
About his friendship with Bill Clinton. And he's not a comedian, he's a writer. But he ended up doing this comedy special about his friendship with Bill Clinton and how it happened. You know?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, I think it's called My Friend Bill, and it was like a comedy special. Hilarious. Amazing. I recommend it for anything because he's talking about how he met Bill Clinton, how he was hanging out with him, and he was having like these amazing moments in his life and stuff. And then how his friendship ended was he got stoned with Christopher Walken in Amsterdam. And the Secret Service took pictures of him and basically said, you can't be getting stoned and hanging out with Bill Clinton. We just can't have that. And so,
especially after he did not nail.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and this was like during the 2000s that this happened. And so Bill was the one that broke the news to him and stuff. And my favorite joke in the whole thing was basically saying that, that Hillary doesn't want them to be friends, right? And Bill tells an antidote to him that when they were on the campaign trail for him to be governor, he and she ran into an old boyfriend of hers that was a manager at a gas station, right? And so after they're leaving, after getting gas, and she caught up with him and stuff like that, he was joking like, oh man, you could have been married to the manager of a gas station. And she looks at him and she says, no, if I was going to get married to him, I would be married to the president of the United States one day. Right? And Bill's like, so I got to do what Hillary says. Right? And that's after he was president, but it's just this interesting thing that it's like, no, if she were married to this manager, he wouldn't have been a manager, he would have been president. Because she would have made it sure he was president. Yeah. Exactly. And so I just thought it was an interesting antidote, It's a funny story.
So the TV show, it's a TV movie, sorry. It's called My Buddy Bill, and the playwright is Rick Cleveland. Okay, yeah.
You should check it out. It's really funny. And it's non-political. It's just about knowing a guy who happened to be president of the United States. Yeah. And
didn't hell. Earth Space remembers.
Yeah, Earth
Space
oldies. Remembers. Yeah. Let's see. So you said that they'll bring like 2 bankers boxes, right? Or like a milk crate or something?
Yeah, like they'll bring like 2 milk crates.
Yeah. 2 milk crates of records. Let's see. I knew a guy once. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do the 2 milk crates. Yeah. I love the movie of My Friend Dahmer, but I didn't read the graphic novel. No,
I've actually only read the graphic novel. I've not seen the movie, but I've read the comic. He's got a new book out, though, that I really need to read, that I want to read. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's all about the Kent State shootings.
That book is not new. It's been out for a few years, but yeah.
It's new to me. Sorry.
Well, it takes a while to import stuff into Canada.
That's not accurate. It was here immediately. I just am poor.
I'm sorry.
Don't buy comics all the time, every 24 hours.
Well, I haven't read it yet. But he has another book called Trashed,
Oh yeah, that's his initial.
Yeah, that book is amazing.
How many members of the Wu-Tang are there?
Oh, there's like 7, I think, or 8.
Let's see. I did. It was nuts. It was tragic. I read it in 2013, 2014.
Oh, you know, you guys are talking about the Dahmer book. I was talking about the Kent State book. That's his latest thing. The Dahmer book is old. Yeah, he wrote that like in the early 2000s.
I met him. He was in San Jose for 8. They should have bought some original art while he was there.
Yeah, when Banksy came to the United States, he came to New York and he had a show. He set up a table in Central Park where he was selling original Banksies for $50, right? But like no one knew it was really him. So a couple people bought them going, there's somebody, you know, making money off of the Banksy exhibit, and then realized later on they were real Banksies. $50 a poster, this big, and he made them right in front of you.
Talk about
Yeah.
That's a lucky person.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching, or actually I read this. It was that, you know, the Antiques Roadshow is pretty interesting. And this woman, I guess her brother, because this is in the UK, he, at the time of the 60s, would buy all those posters from like Victor Mancuso and Robert Crumb and Rick Griffiths and, you know, all the Haight-Ashbury and the Fillmore Club and the Janis Joplin, like all of those gorgeous, gorgeous posters. Yeah. And he kept them in pristine condition, and he died quite young, apparently. And so the sister just kept them all like in pristine condition in this little case her whole life. And now she's like, he's been dead for like 50 years. She brought them to the Antiques Roadshow, and they were agog at like how good they looked. You know what I mean? Like nobody ever hung them up. They were just like flat, protected.
Yeah, they probably stayed in a drawer out of light and heat. Yeah, you know, it's just, I know that circus posters from the late Victorian age, early 20th century are also collected. And I saw in an Antiques Roadshow once somebody who brought in a bunch of circus posters. It was the same thing, you know, that they were just kept in a drawer forever. And like, again, they're drooling over them, you know, because they were just in such good condition.
Okay.
Do you think the head of Dr. Zayas? Do you think the head of Dr. Zayas would end up on Antiques Roadshow if I took it to the Antiques Roadshow to try and get it appraised?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because,
they'd be interested in that.
Yeah, because I have no idea what it's worth.
You want to get in touch with the people who are part of Ape Suit Cinema, the Hollywood Gorilla Men, and they would probably put you in touch with Planet of the Apes collectors.
When I posted it to a replica prop forum group I'm on in Facebook, there was a bunch of Planet of the Apes collectors that contacted me.
Yeah.
And I guess there was like this one super expert guy that like a lot of people had contacted him. And he wanted to look at it, and he's like, oh, this is actually this sculpt. And I'm like, but it was created at this time. And he's like, wow, they must have used that sculpt first. And Earthspace says he loves the head of Dr. Zayas. Aston Martin says that's like Walt Disney's Frozen in Carbonite. No, I actually own the head of Dr. Zayas. It's not an urban myth. Like people have seen it.
You own.
By the way, there's 9 to 10 Wu-Tang Clan members. If you need the amount of bees you're drawing, continue.
Something better than the head of Dr. Zayas. You own a sculpt that was used to create Edward G. Robinson's Dr. Zayas. That's super rare.
Sure. Again, it was to show off the makeup and get the producers on board, and then also test the makeup.
Aston Alexander Martin. It is a movie prop.
It is not technically a movie prop. It was not used in the movie. It was
like a movie. He's trying to ascertain if you're talking about a real head of a real dead monkey or not. That's what he wants to know.
No,
If you
it
can
is.
read the comments, it goes, who, what? And then he goes, oh, this is a movie prop.
Yeah, yeah, it is definitely a prop, but it was not used in a movie. It is a concept sculpt, as Dale said.
It was a concept sculpt to create makeup for Edward G. Robinson for a makeup screen test before they made the Planet of the Apes. So if you look on the internet, you can find that screen test where Charlton Heston and Edward G. Robinson are in, and it doesn't look like the Planet of the Apes that you will remember, because it's more of the Rod Serling script, because they were going to really have a more advanced ape civilization.
Mm-hmm. But wasn't their budget pulled out from under them?
Yeah, and also it took a while for them to get approval to do the script. And also, there's documentaries on the ape makeup.
Yeah.
That ape makeup was revolutionary for the time.
Yeah, Rod Serling has been the theme of the day. I love that guy, says Aston Martin. I wasn't sure if we were speaking in hypotheticals about head appraisal. And then attach a link to that video to the head, says Magic Marmot. Yeah, I don't know where the link would be.
Just Google Planet of the Apes, Edward G. Robinson.
Okay, give me a second. I will find it. Finding it. Okay. Apes, Edward G. Robinson. All right. We'll go to videos. Yeah, okay. Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Hey, so we should probably just Google search that and you'd find the video. No bother linking it.
No, I got it. I got the video and the links as soon as it wants to actually play. Copy link. Okay, here you go. Let's put it in chat. Damn. Attach a link. Yes, I almost went out of my way to buy animation cells from Millennium Actress till I realized I don't have money for expensive pieces of paper.
Yeah, Millennium Actress is a beautiful, beautiful cartoon.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it. When I went to Denver Fan Expo this year, every year there's usually an animation cell guy, and he wasn't there this year. And so I missed out on my animation cells.
Yeah, Sergio Aragonés is not at San Diego Comic-Con this year. So
well, doesn't he? I mean, he's getting up there in years, isn't he? Like, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's getting tougher for him to travel, I imagine.
Yeah, but he's the only reason I'd want to go to a con.
Yeah. Let's see. Pointillism. No, I don't want pointillism. What am I looking for? I'm looking for something man-made. Let's see. Man-made. There we go. Stair railing. No. Jude. What am I looking for? Buttons.
Is anybody excited about the Wolverine Deadpool movie coming out in a couple of days?
Nope, not at all.
Man-made buttons.
I made a decision a long time ago that I won't get hyped over things anymore. And so I don't watch trailers, I don't watch previews. I don't watch little snippet things because they always give away too much. And I'd rather be surprised, and I wait for people's talk about something before I watch it.
Hugh Jackman is dead to me.
Why is Hugh Jackman dead to you?
Because he shills for an MLM. doTERRA essential oils. Do
Ooh.
not support MLMs.
That's hot.
No, I do not either.
So I'm done with Hugh Jackman.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess we'll just kind of put like a sparkle around Armand's records, and we'll write down here Armand's. Let's see. Bees. Nomo FOMO. I haven't been excited for a movie in a while. I've enjoyed the series that have been coming out so much more. Yeah. Again, like I'm not looking down on anyone that decides to look at a trailer or something, but it's just not something that I found joy in anymore. So I just don't. You know. Yeah, Armand's. Let's see. I think we lost Robin.
No, you didn't. I was listening to you. I was gonna ask what everybody thought about the giant tech blackout.
Oh yeah, I've
one
been
of the mail, baby.
I've been sharing memes on Facebook. Do you know what we're talking about?
I have pals who are
Y2K24. That's awesome.
I have pals who are traveling right now, and they're stuck in airports.
Yeah,
Build character. That's what I said.
Yeah, so all the planes.
I'm sure that's exactly what they wanted to hear.
All
character.
Put tear on your chest, guys.
All the planes that were flying were Southwest because they're still using Windows 3.1.
Nice.
I swear to God, that is why Southwest planes were still flying. Yeah. I love the tech blackout. So many companies and managers have been getting rid of IT or offshoring them. Ouch, bro. Yeah. Okay, so
it only affected me insofar as I couldn't order my Starbucks. I was very bitter. First world problems.
So are you
Dale show for big Zardoz.
Dale, are you still working on this panel? Are you going to be working on it for a while?
Yeah, I got a few more minutes.
Okay, then I'll take panel 5. And so the next one that you'll do is panel 6 then. Okay, so looking at what you're doing, you got him running away. There's a bunch of killer bees. And then Armand's running away. And then I have them, the killer bees, reject Meow's records. And they go straight towards Armand's records. So then what happens?
They work together and spirit away Armand's records. They just fly away with them.
Let's see. Dale shills for Big Zardoz, says Earth Space. And then it's like launching missiles on an abacus. And I was sick yesterday, so I totally missed it.
Okay, you guys keep saying that I'm like some sort of Art Zardoz fanatic.
You guys? I think it's only.
No, I was reading Chuck's comment.
I meant guys in the asexual gender.
Yes, as in use guys.
It's like dude. Dude has no gender.
You know, there is.
I wasn't referring to gender. I'm just saying I didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm going.
Yeah, Robin reps the you guys rebuttal, and then it's the big red diaper. Yeah. So, no, it's not about like Zardoz. You know, I just think it's interesting that. Is that a DVD copy of Zardoz? That is more than one DVD copy of Zardoz. I have to put you in the big window to show that it's not just me and it's not just Chuck. Like, this is a real thing with Dale.
That's true. He does love the Sean Connery.
Yeah, no, it's see, Zardoz. Oh, it's spelled with an I, not a Y. Yeah. So
my name is spelled with an I. Sorry.
How many copies is that in your hand?
There are 3 movies that you want to watch to learn everything about life.
Okay.
Now, one of them is Zardoz, and it's hard to get. So I buy copies of
That's
Zardoz.
3. That's like 8.
I buy copies of
No.
Zardoz and I loan them to people so they can learn about Zardoz, which is probably the most meta movie ever made. And it will change your life once you understand it. So
I
highly
think you have to
recommend-
be on a lot of cocaine to
No,
understand that movie, because I think
You
they
just
were
need
on a
to watch
lot of
it about
cocaine when they
30
made that movie.
times. Once you've watched it about 30 or 60 times, you'll get Zardoz.
You'll understand it.
I see. Fee Zardoz from Hoarder's Dale says Chuck, and then James Bond and Charlotte Rambling. Okay, so let's go back to the actual story.
Those are very good points, Aston Alexander Martin.
Buy Zardoz on Amazon Prime, download it to your phone so you can watch it anytime you're stuck in traffic.
Or at the airport when there's a tech blackout.
I would highly recommend it.
So the story. Killer bees reject Meow's records. So what happens then? And then Magic Marmot sent me a link. What is the link? That's not the link. Okay.
Something about Zardoz.
Yeah, let's copy this link. Let's open the URL.
It's a
picture. It's a picture of Zardoz. Yeah, it's a picture of Zardoz. So yeah, just so people know what we are talking about, this is the picture that that Magic Marmot put up for us. So this is Sean Connery in all of his red leather glory in Zardoz.
It's funny that that's the picture. I think it's funny that that's the picture that everyone associates with the movie.
Yeah.
But I had no idea Charlotte Rampling was in it, and she's way better looking than Sean Connery.
Yeah.
You think that one would be a photo?
The giant head too. The giant head in it.
That costume is brilliant because decades later, people see Sean Connery in that costume and think, I've got to see this movie. It is brilliant viral advertising.
So what happens after the killer bees?
Magic Marmot, it's his big red bondage diaper.
Yes, big red bondage diaper. So okay, what happens after the killer bees find Armand's record collection?
No, I told you they spirit them away and then they disappear, and that's the end of the killer bees. They might show up later.
You think that's it? Is that they just take?
Yeah,
Armand's records?
I love the absurdism of them just showing up, taking the records, and leaving.
Okay, I can do that. I like that. Okay, so that is going to be panel 5 then. Is the killer bees take Armand's records with them?
Okay.
Because they're music makers, and Armand has all the best records, and they need them for the making of the beats.
Yeah, with them. Okay. There we go. And then you're still working on your panel, right, Dale?
Yeah, mine had a lot of killer bees in it.
I understand. Yeah. I
online,
the beginning of the group.
Online, there's a huge debate on whether or not there's actually 9 Wu-Tang Clan members or 10. I don't know who they're waffling on. I mean, obviously, Old Dirty Bastard has passed away, but he's always going to be a Wu-Tang. So, yeah. 9 or 10 members, your choice on the Wu-Tang Clan.
Let's see.
There's more than 2. Yes, there's 9 or 10, apparently.
So the other movies you need to watch to learn about life are Circle of Iron, which is on Tubi, and Charlie Muffin, which is on YouTube. And
Yeah, we talked about Charlie Muffins before.
Yeah, if you watch those 3 movies, they'll change your life forever.
I imagine that Armand would be shaking his little tentacle fist, right? Because he's mad that they took his stuff.
This guy, give me back my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. I like that.
Yeah, I imagine he'd be mad at them, and then meow.
Can you give him angry eyebrows, like angry Oscar the Grouch eyebrows?
Yeah. He's got one kind of there that
furrowed brow.
and I gotta draw Meow. Like checking them out. Let's see. They're gonna take his record and sample them to create new Buzz, the B version of hip hop music. This is Magic Marmot. Jeremy says, I'm back, stepped aside for dinner. I hope you enjoyed dinner. Aston Martin says, I think the movie that changed my life the most is Eternal Sunshine. And interesting. Yeah. Eternal Sunshine.
That is a good one. That's a really good one.
It's interesting because it's both a positive and a negative portrayal of somebody with bipolar. And, you know, it hits all of the stereotypes and then also, like, tries to show her as a real person at the same time. Plus his obsession over the idea of her versus who she really is. And, you know, it makes you question how many times they may have erased each other from their memories because they just find each other again. You know, plus Kirsten Dunst's character and Elijah Wood. That's an interesting subplot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Michel Gondry is like an amazing director. My friend had this series of collection of videos, and it was like a showcase on various directors. One of them was Chris Cunningham, who had done a couple of Bjork videos, and then one of them was Michel Gondry, and he did a White Stripes video that was all Lego, and he had to like rebuild and rebuild and rebuild and rebuild to do it because it's just like old school animation. He did this crazy video with Kylie Minogue where she's like walking around this block in a sort of a circle in front of all these businesses, and then she does it again and everything happens again, and there's 2 versions of her walking, and then there's 3 versions, but different things are happening because the third version's kind of lagging behind a bit. He is an amazing director, Michel Gondry, and so I was really sad when he did Green Lantern and it didn't work out very well because it could have been so much more. I really wish someone would let him make another superhero movie.
There was some scenes in Green Lantern that were epic, especially the gathering where Mark Strong as Sinestro speaks before all the lanterns. That was like a ZBrush masterpiece of all those characters.
Well, one thing that happened to Green Lantern is about halfway through production, they were working on all the CGI stuff, and then they moved up the date by like 6 months. And so they had planned to do the CGI stuff in this amount of time, and it ended up being like this amount of time. And so for what they were able to do in the time they did it, the CGI is actually not that bad. But considering it was being compared to other CGI that took years to do it at the time, like in The Lord of the Rings, people were like, this CGI is crap. But they don't realize that they only had like 6 months to work on it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like...
Yeah, that's not fair when they do that.
No,
did we keep saying Green Lantern? Sorry, we are saying Green Lantern. It's Green Hornet. We mean Green Hornet. Sorry. We are saying Green Lantern and it's Green Hornet.
I thought you guys were
Green Hornet.
I thought you guys were talking about Green Lantern. I was talking about
No. Michel Gondry did Green Hornet. I'm so sorry. It's Green Hornet.
I didn't see that one.
Sorry, I'm old school Batman. I'm like old Bruce Lee Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I working on?
So the Hornets the Killer Bees fly away with the records. And so we have Armand, the Minions, Philo and crew. We have not seen Philo this entire episode, by the way. So we should probably see Philo because he's the star.
Okay.
So Philo and crew are there. So what happens with Philo?
Well,
You know, like are they like stuffing gold into their pockets and trying to get away while everyone's distracted?
Yeah, where the hell are the Beagle Boys and all this?
Yeah, exactly. Like they were all doing a dance off for the treasure, right? And then Armand comes because it turned into a rave. So like everyone still wants the treasure. Would all the minions be stuffing their pockets?
Would they be stuffing their butts because their butts were exposed?
Well, yeah, I
Maybe a
don't want
different
this to
show.
turn into that scene from Pulp Fiction where they're like, do you know where this watch has been? Do you know
Yeah.
what I and your father and your grandfather went through for this watch? Yeah, no, I don't want that.
Okay.
Yeah. No pants, no pockets. Stung by a bee, says Magic Marmot. I want to actually watch the Green Hornet show before I see the movie. It's a good show. Most comic art is considered crap before it is considered great, says Chuck, says Earthspace. And so, yeah, so I imagine we would have, like, they would be stuff in their pockets, right? The minions?
But
Well,
wait, am I crazy? Didn't they pull down their pants for the dance-off?
yes,
everybody did.
everyone has no pants.
Yeah,
How
so it's just like Magic Marmot said, no pockets.
How about they're stealing the gold by the old school Popeye Fleischers? They just have enormous piles of it on their back.
I think that works. It's a cartoon.
Okay.
It's a comic book.
And so all of the characters now have enormous piles of stuff on their back.
Okay, that works.
All right, see if I can do that.
All right, and so I guess your caption would be the minions are looting the money bin.
Looting the money bin. Okay.
That's great. Pillage, pillage, loot, loot.
Well, I mean, would Meow be mad because they are minions? Like that's
Yeah, but they're stealing.
Well, they're stealing from him. I imagine he would be mad about that, but he would also
Yeah.
be like proud of them being minion-y. I don't know, evil. Stung by bee, no pants, no pockets, but they're shuffling because their pants are around their ankles, says Magic Marmot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works. Yeah.
Oh, book report. Chuck and I interviewed the authors of the book Funny Stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to picking up a copy of that.
That was pretty interesting because it's a book that dissects the New Yorker style one-panel cartoon.
Yeah, and it's interviews with a bunch of New Yorker artists about methods that they use to basically make one of those panel cartoons like every week or every 2 weeks.
Do they talk to Pia Guerrera?
So can you see the book?
Yeah, cool. Remember, put him in the middle.
Wait. I'm putting you in the big screen. Yeah, see, Funny Stuff. That I have to pick it up.
That looks good.
It's Prometheus Books. You could probably find it on Amazon. And if you're looking for a how-to book, it ain't that.
No, it's not.
Really better off getting stuff by Scott McCloud.
To me, it seems more like a comic art philosophy book. Like, why do these things work in a comic? From what you guys were describing.
If you are a fan of New Yorker cartoons, it's a no-brainer to buy this.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. Oh, rats. I can't draw them now.
Magic Marmot says, Meow probably wants to close the doors to the vault. Maybe Philo and crew escape, but the rest of the minions are captured by Meow.
Wow, that's dark. All I envision them is sitting in that vault for the rest of their lives.
Well, I mean, it is a comic, so when we don't draw them, they don't exist. So it's okay.
Schrodinger's cat of comics.
Yeah.
But,
hey, Dale, can you do me a favor? Can you look in that book and see if there's like an index in the back or
who do you want?
Table of contents.
Which cartoonist are you looking for?
Pia Guerrera.
No.
Guerra. Okay, cool.
I just read it.
She does lots of New Yorker cartoons. She's Canadian. She did a comic called Why the Last Man with Brian.
Yeah,
Vaughn.
I know Why the Last Man.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually made a TV show out of that one too.
Yeah, they did, but it didn't last very long.
Nah, I don't think people quite were ready for that concept.
Give me a second and I'll look. All right.
Here, okay. I'm gonna take Dale off the main screen and then put back up art. Let's see. Oof, Heritage Auction is going to put up a series of posters from Nickelodeon. These posters were created to honor 10 of Nickelodeon's most impactful and iconic animation shows and their respective creators. You know what those posters probably were? Is when you walked into Nickelodeon, they'd have posters at the beginning of all their different shows, and they'd trade them out depending on what's in season. It's probably those posters. Yeah, what's the most sentimental non-family based item you own? I have an original Chris Jones artwork of The Shadow. Most sentimental non-family based item I own. I have a cell, an original cell from Akira, that I purchased that like means a lot to me. And then I've been working on these little book nook things, so I think those are kind of cool. I'm a little sentimental about those. So, yeah.
There's just too much stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a big person for signatures. I don't go out of my way to get them. I kind of feel like the creators have created comics and art enough for us. Like, I don't want them to be signing a whole bunch of stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, there's like a couple of people that I've gotten signatures from, and they've been big deals to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one is this Italian artist named Paolo Serpieri. He did a comic called Druna.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's in heavy metal. And so I've got his signature. That was kind of a big deal because he's an Italian cartoonist from like the 60s and 70s. He doesn't speak any English, but I got to speak to him, interview him through a translator. And so I've got that hidden in one of my old heavy metals. Like, that's like a secret surprise.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Yashitaka Amano. He's the artist that did a lot of the design work on Final Fantasy, and he did Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
And I really love his fine artwork. Like, he's an amazing painter, and I kind of consider him like a modern day Gustav Klimt.
Yeah.
So getting his signature on my favorite piece was a really big deal. So I have a lot of sentimental value to those things, I guess.
There's one piece of art that if I ever have enough money, I'm going to buy from the original artist. My friend Matt Oleg, whom we interviewed on the show that we had together, Dale. He has a piece that he did in college that is a big giant. It's like 6 foot by like 3 or 4 foot painting. It's huge, right? And it is an artist statement about how artist statements are stupid. And it's like, you know how you have to put an artist statement next to the painting, and it's like, oh, this is what this painting's about. Well, that was the artist statement, was the painting. Mm-hmm. And then, and he did a little tiny painting for the artist statement, by the way. But the painting itself was the artist statement about how paintings should speak for themselves, and artist statements are stupid, that they don't really mean anything. So,
I think adhering to a status quo.
Yeah.
And because you can make it up about anything, really, an art statement.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I thought it was kind of interesting, You
should read the comments.
Yes. Let's see. What is the most sentimental thing? I have an original Chris Jones artwork of The Shadow. That's dope. Akira. Chris created it for me as a gift, and then I did that for my MFA. Very nice.
I have like a lot of original art too, though, that I really love. But it's not comic art. It's like I have sketches, a few sketches here and there. Like, I got a Gregory sketch from Mark Hempel, and I got, of course, a Scary Godmother. But like, wherever I live, I try to get a piece of artwork that is important to me. Like, I remember when I lived in Vancouver, there's this really cool Vancouver artist called Brain-Eater. Mm-hmm. And I've got a big painting of his. It's on like wood, and I really treasure. And then when I was in China and I went to Beijing, I discovered this amazing artist. She was just like working in her shop, and she had her painting on the wall, and it just spoke to me. I had to have it. So like, I like, yeah. And so like, those things are pretty sentimental and important to me.
There is, well, you said non-family, so I'm kind of cheating here because it was a friend of my grandmother's, but she was not a member of our family. When Shirley Bennett died, who was my grandmother's best friend since kindergarten, she had this little acrylic painting of a nude, and it's just a woman lounging, and like it's so impressionistic that there's even no face on the woman. It's just kind of like her just kind of kicking it. And I love it. Like when Shirley died and my grandmother, my family and stuff were helping her family kind of clean out Shirley's apartment and stuff like that, no one wanted this painting. I saw it in the trash and I was like, no, I want this painting. I think it's pretty. And so I have it hanging up on my wall. I've had it for years. And so I don't even know who the artist is. I just like it.
Oh, that's art. Aston Alexander Martin is very excited to talk about Scary Godmother.
Yes, dude, I made the Scary Godmother s'mores every year for Halloween growing up. Excellent. Yeah, I had the pleasure and privilege of helping Jill Thompson out at her table one year at San Diego Comic-Con. And so I basically just collected money and ran People's Square. Yeah. So it's pretty good. Let's see. Dale, you are working on panel 6. So that means I'm on panel 7. Okay. All right. And this might be the last panel. I don't know.
This is going to take me a little while because of the treasure.
That's okay. I'm on panel 7. You're on panel 6. It's going to take some time, I think, of looting the money bin. So what happens after they loot the money bin then?
Well, what do you have going on here? Are the Beagle Brothers hanging out with our crew now?
You said all of them, so.
No, like I'm just clarifying because I'm trying to figure out what to do. So now they're joining us, or are they going to go their own way?
I imagine because there's one door to the money bin, they all have to exit through the door. So they're probably going to go their own ways.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I don't want like a huge crowd for our crew.
No.
Yeah.
And we gotta put Ma Beagle in that exit too, because she was there. She's the one that started the dance off, didn't she?
Yeah, she was there. And then gosh, I'm trying to think.
There's Dog and there's Bluto, but I think you just drew Bluto.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and we got Philo and Otis.
I got it. Since Philo's in front, he trips on his pants.
And they all fall on top of him?
They all collapse on top of him. What do you think?
That works for me.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Okay.
Okay, and I have another idea. I think that I'm tired of Mao being the butt of everyone's jokes. I think that Mao finally loses it, and when he loses it completely, he channels like this super all-powerful being, and he uses crazy magic to get revenge.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then that all-powerful being should be the Centagon.
Again?
Well, the thing is it would help tie in the Kaiju Council, and then it would prove that maybe Philo and all them can't control becoming the Centagon.
But shouldn't Mao become like the Centagon?
Well, if they
maybe he was the one that maybe he was the one that the Kaiju Council were monitoring all along. He turns into a giant cat Centagon, or a giant cat Kaiju.
Well, I thought that like for the Centagon, you'd have to have all of them because there's all the heads and the arms.
Yeah, they're all there. But so what I'm saying is, maybe Mao, it was the Kaiju all along that they were watching.
It could be. Oh, wait! I gotta do something. I gotta show Cat Cam up here. So let's see if I can show
Cat Cam.
There's Cat Cam over there. You can see they're kind of lounging. If I can sort of get the cat over there. Yeah. So I got 2 of them over there. kind of lounging a little bit. If Cat Cam stops sliding. Yeah. Anyway.
There is another book for our book report this week. Sergio Aragonés, Louder Than Words, Actions Speak. It's Actions Speak Louder Than Words. Just came out from Dark Horse.
Nice.
And it's a huge collection of comic strips, but they're pantomime. There's no dialogue. And they did these strips a number of years ago, but the graphic novels are out of print. So I really recommend you look at this hardback because it's really the master at one of the best artistic heights of his career. I mean, and that's saying a lot considering who it is. So I recommend it.
Were these just strips that he did on his own? Were they Mad Magazine strips?
They aren't Mad. I think he did them for Dark Horse.
Okay.
Because they originally came out as comics years ago and then were collected as comic books, and then the comic books were collected as graphic novels.
Okay.
But what were they called? Because you were telling me about them before, weren't you?
Well, I may have been. They were in a comic. There were two comic series. One was called Actions Speak, and then there was one called Louder Than Words.
Yeah, that was it. Louder Than Words. That's right.
And then they resulted in two graphic novels by Dark Horse, Actions Speak, and then Louder Than Words. And now both of those have been collected into one big hardback collection. I bought it yesterday from Atlantis Fantasy World in Santa Cruz, but I haven't cracked it open because I had to read that book about the New Yorker cartoons. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm going back to hang out with my cat.
Sergio Land.
I'm looking forward to reading that very much.
Yeah, I think that the book that Phil helped work on that you guys were talking about this morning, I forget the name of it. Funny people.
Funny
what is
stuff.
it? Funny stuff. Thank you. I think that one's going to go next to The Naked Cartoonist on my show.
The Naked Cartoonist is a good book. That's Bob Mankoff.
Yeah.
There's
again, it's like philosophy for comedy writing. You know, it's like these things work for me, and this is why I think they work, but I'm not completely sure.
Yeah, there was another book like that years ago by Mort Gerber. Mort Gerber, who's a New Yorker cartoonist. I think it was called The Arbor Book of Cartooning. And that's another one. If the New Yorker style magazine cartoons interest you, that's another book to look for. But I'm pretty sure it's out of print. But you know, libraries often carry something like that.
Yeah. I'm taking your from your panel the treasure chest sticking out of them. Yeah. Out of the piles. Why did we? You know, it's like that one comic that goes around the internet where it's the writer and the artist at the convention, and the writer's like, I love comics because I can say, you know, there's this huge crowd in space and blah, blah, blah. And he just draws it. And then the artist goes, I'll kill you in the next panel. Yeah. I realized that, you know, because we're own writers, we're like, let's draw a treasure room. And then Dale and I are sitting going, fucking treasure.
You could do like little bumps on the bottom where their feet are, right? Because they're stepping gold. And then just do a few of those little diamond things on the walls so it looks like it's glistening, and that's it, right?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
You know, the funny
But
thing,
I know your point. You hate the artist in you, the writer in you, for suggesting such annoying details. It looks good, though.
The funny thing is, if you told that to Sergio Aragonés, he would just shrug and say, okay.
Yeah.
because he's drawn it so many times.
Yeah.
That he knows the cliches that will work. How many coins you have to draw. That's one of the valuable things I think that will be in for kids who get this new Sergio collection, is that you can look at these things and go, oh man, this is how you quickly draw something like this. His cartoons for the World Weekly News, they were, if you can find those online, just look for the scanned World Weekly News and work backwards from the last issue and look through the issues. You'll find his comic pages, and each one of them is a lesson in how to cartoon. I mean, it shows, oh, here's how you can do wood. Here's how you can do ceramics. Here's how you can do an animal. Here's how you can do a car. I mean, I would kill to have him do an instruction book.
So Aston Martin says, hearing the phrase louder than words reminds me of the Pink Floyd song called that. Earthspace says, great show, everybody. Magic Marmot says, gotta bail, love you all. Bye. Aston Martin says, I chanced on in the wild the wedding issue of Amazing Spider-Man, even if it is a reprint. I've got that in my special safe place for stuff, because if that's hard to find or getting hard to find, that's probably my item for that question about what's valuable to him that's not like a family heirloom.
Oh yeah, that wedding one is pretty cool. I remember being obsessed with her dress.
Yeah, I think the wedding comic issue that like I waited for forever was when Jean Grey and Scott Summers finally got married.
That didn't last very long though. She died pretty quick.
Again.
And then he married Madeline pretty quick.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and then he went after the White Queen.
Yeah, well, she went after him.
Well, they kind of went after each other. And we haven't even mentioned Psylocke yet.
Really? When did that happen?
Oh, that happened in the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah, that was before he got married to Jean Grey. He and both Psylocks, okay, Betty and Elizabeth. Okay,
oh, wow.
Both Psylocks he was with.
He likes those girls with the telekinesis.
Loves them telepaths. Yeah.
So predictable. Scott Summers.
Now, being such a comic fan, were you ever a superhero reader, Dale?
No. I have like a really old Batman that's in bad shape. That's one of the few superhero comics that I got, because it was the issue that talked about, that was based on the Beatles replacing Paul. And but no, I was a mad kid. I did have the two graphic novels, which were unique at the time, Origins and Son of Origins of the Marvel Comics, because all the kids my age got that. But no, I was not a superhero guy. I was mad. Then I got into Cracked, and then I got into comics that were in men's magazines. I got into National Lampoon, and then at San Jose State I got into Undergrounds, because by San Jose State was Bob's Side Bottoms, just freaking amazing comic book store, which just had loads of Undergrounds. So I loved Undergrounds, and I read some heavy metal, and but I admire the artistic ability of superhero comics, but I prefer humor and social commentary.
Growing up in Southern California, there weren't a lot of like I mean, I'm sure if you went into LA and parts of San Diego and stuff, there was really good independent comics. But where I was at, it was mostly superhero comics in the area. So like that's all I really had exposure to until web comics came along. And then I was like, oh my gosh, you can do things other than superheroes. And so that was kind of like my exposure to stuff outside of superheroes.
Yeah.
Was web comics.
Oh,
yeah.
Also I was into strips. So I, there were all these paperback collections of Peanuts, Wizard of Id, I love the Wizard of Id.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Bloom County, Doonesbury. I just wasn't into superheroes. And then also, when I was a kid, there were comics by Gold Key that were Twilight Zone, Outer Limits. There was a comic, it was the TV series was actually quasi based on this comic, Lost in Space.
Yeah.
What else was a good one? Star Trek. The Gold Key Star Trek comics were amazing. So those are the things I was in. I never just understood the superhero stuff. And of all these movies that are out and the TV shows like The Boys, I still think that movie, The Watchmen, even though it doesn't stick to the book in terms about...
They changed the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed the end. But I understand why. Because having, quote unquote, the alien invasion, it would have looked amazing on screen. Don't get me wrong, right? But I don't think the audience would have gotten it because it didn't have the same buildup in that movie that the comic had for the artist and the writer falling in love and working together. Because this was, a subplot in the comic of you're going like, well, why are we focusing on these people? Why are we looking at these pirate comics and stuff like that? And then the payoff at the end, of course, is the big alien in Central, in Times Square.
Yeah, I think that movie, though, is probably the best of the superhero movies. Unless you were talking, I mean, you could add Flash Gordon. Gordon was an amazing movie. And then, of course, 1966 Batman.
Yeah.
That was just super awesome.
So we have a lot of talk that I've been ignoring. I'm sorry. I chanced on the Wild Wedding issue. Okay, we talked about that. That's probably my item for question. Ouch, the dynamics. ESP Extra Sexy Perception. Probably talking about all of Scott's telepaths. I completely get that about humor. I like every genre as long as the work is good quality. I guess manga sublimates the genre gap for a lot of people. That's true. I thought the movie was a better ending. I remember it had to do with 9/11. They changed the squid. Flash Gordon is a trip. Yeah, Flash Gordon is a trip.
It was not what anyone expected when it came out.
Yeah.
I saw it in the theater. I was leaving it going, what the... I've actually met Sam Jones a few times, and he's a cool dude. He actually was in a better movie, if you can find it. Look for My Chauffeur. It's a rom-com. Penn and Teller have a cameo in it, but if you can find My Chauffeur, that's really Sam Jones at his best, in my opinion.
Let's see. Did you put pants around the dog?
No, the dog doesn't have pants.
Okay, I wanted to just be consistent.
You think that I was paying attention? Dogs don't have pants.
I'm just making sure.
Strangely, cartoon ducks sometimes do, and mice.
Yes, it depends on if they get out of a bath or not.
Yeah.
Because if they get out of the bath, the towel goes around the waist. But if they're walking around during the day, it's only a shirt on. You know, this is observed in Disney cartoons. We are at time. I am just going to kind of finish doodling here a little bit. How are you doing on your panel?
I need a few more minutes. You want to just keep going?
Yeah, we can just keep going for a couple minutes.
Sorry, Robin.
Yeah, excellent. Let's see. Yeah, Robin, I think might be catching 40 winks. I'm not sure.
She's tired.
Yeah, well, she's got a very physical job. I don't hold it against her. You know. Let's see. What are we gonna do? Let's do some kind of crosshatch. Ooh, let's do paper. I know what I'll do. I'll do ink transfer. Yeah, we'll do ink transfer. Oh, that does not look good. Okay.
But if anyone's still watching, the thing to take from today's episode is check out the book, Funny Stuff, about New Yorker cartoons. Look for Sergio Aragone's new hardback from Dark Horse.
Yeah.
And definitely watch the movie Zardoz. And if you can, Charlie Muffin and Circle of Iron.
Circle of Iron. So Charlie Muffin, I get, you know, it's a detective story about corruption.
Spy movie. It's a spy movie.
You know, okay, so that one I can totally get behind. From my research when I did that commission for you, seemed like a pretty cool movie.
Great
Zardoz, we can agree to disagree on. The third one, talk to me about it.
Okay, so Bruce Lee wanted to make a movie with James Coburn.
Yeah.
But he had the Bad Manners to Die.
Yeah.
So the movie didn't get made, but the script still kicked around. And the movie got made with, I forget the name of the actor who's the lead character.
Yeah.
But the secondary character, the sidekick, is David Carradine from Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And it is a Kung Fu movie set in a mystical foreign land, and it's shot in Israel. And if you're a big fan of Jesus Christ Superstar, you'll recognize where they use some of the same locations. And
well, I imagine because it's like the Holy Land.
Yeah, and it has some insane guest stars. So it has Eli Wallach, it has Roddy McDowall, it has David Carradine playing multiple roles, and at the very end, it has our hero Christopher Lee. And the costumes are childish. It's just fun, joyful 70s schlock. It was supposed to come out as named The Silent Flute, which was Bruce Lee's name for it.
Yeah.
But it got renamed to Circle of Iron. It was in Grindhouse theaters.
Nice.
And you know how in Kill Bill, Bill is playing a bamboo flute?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's in reference to it?
Oh my God, yes. And I thought my head was going to explode when I saw it.
Well, I mean, there's so many references there. Okay. So Philo trips over his pants. We got that going on. You have them loading up, they're looting the money bin. And then he trips over his pants, and that's where we left off. So we're 4 minutes after. I'm going to end the show. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to say goodbye to Robin first because she's asleep. Good night, Robin. Good night, Robin. It's like good night, Moon, but it's good night, Robin.
Panel.
Yeah, good night, Robin. And then we'll say good night, Dale panel of looting the money bin. And then there's me, but I'm going to say good night to my panel of Philo tripping, and then that's Otis behind him, and then I have Bluto and the dog. And my final goodbye is going to be to Mr. Dale Cipperley. Thank you very much for joining me this evening and being my guest artist. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the future. And I want to say goodnight to everybody who choose to, watch me tonight. And I'll see you guys in the future as well. Have a great one. Okay. Yeah. There it is.